As summer fades into autumn, nature's grand performance of fall foliage is beginning across the Commonwealth. However, the past and current weather conditions will play a vital role in how vibrant these colors will be and when peak will occur.
The fall foliage season is surely important here in Pennsylvania, attracting almost 200 million travelers and injecting $66 billion into the economy. Hotels, campgrounds, and state parks take in a lot of visitors throughout the season, and it all comes down to when the colors peak and where. Due to scientific processes and chemistry, there are three main color pigments within leaves that determine their colors. Chlorophyll's production is at an all-time high within leaves as it is necessary for photosynthesis, reflecting a green hue. That changes in the fall months.
As the daylight begins to wane, the chlorophyll production kind of stops and then begins to break down in the leaf, and that allows the carotenoids and anthocyanins to become more visible. Now, the last of those three, the anthocyanins, are only really produced in the fall.
While the decrease in sunlight is significant, the external conditions, such as the weather, dictate the colors, even months in advance. In Pennsylvania, some areas experienced a significant drought during the summer, especially across the southern Lower Highlands, while others had too much rain. Both extremes play a major role in the foliage season.
Seesaw from dry back to wet and all over the place, and all of these effects. And we're talking all the way back to even early summer, but early summer all the way through early fall. When we see this seesaw, this really impacts the fall color, the fall foliage brilliance. Sometimes it affects the timing as well. The timing impacts can be rather difficult to quantify.
Now, you may have seen colors begin to pop in some instances as early as late July. These early colors are not a part of the fall foliage season and can actually be a bad sign.
All of that color is going to be due to stress, whether that's drought. In some instances, it's too much rain. Oftentimes, it's excessive heat as well. Those factors generally lead to early color in trees like maples or poplars. These are a couple of trees that are really susceptible to early fall color, really out on the tips of their branches in particular. I often call them parking lot maples because if you go to a mall and you look at the maple trees around the parking lot, they'll be in peak color in mid-August, which is not really due to true fall conditions. They're just stressed and they have no water getting up into their roots.
With the constant battles between wet and dry across the state, it will make for a tough season on fall foliage. Do not lose hope just yet, because current weather conditions play an important role in the color change as well. This is what some experts describe as the Goldilocks zone.
Cold nights and clear, warm afternoons is where you want to be. You can't be too cold, you can't be too warm on either end of the spectrum. So it's difficult, but if you really want to draw the reds out of the trees, which in general is what I find people are looking for on the East Coast, then you do need that anthocyanin production. The 30s, especially mid to upper 30s, are generally ideal for that anthocyanin production as well as the degradation of the chlorophyll.
Unfortunately, those chilly autumn nights can suddenly turn into frosts and freezes, which also play a vital role in the coloring of the leaf pigments.
Hard freezes are not good for the fall color. It often results in premature leaf drop. So you'll still have some colors, but it just encourages the trees to go ahead and let go of those leaves. So we generally are looking to avoid 20s if at all possible.
Weather conditions beyond the temperatures play a critical role, such as remnant tropical systems and strong mid-latitude cyclones that may bring heavy rains and high winds, especially to higher elevations.
Once the colors begin to change and that chlorophyll breaks down, those trees really are at risk for just a quick leaf drop if it were to be heavy rain or high winds. Unfortunately, this is very common in the fall. We see it somewhere in the country every year. Unfortunately, someone's always a victim to that early drop due to high wind and heavy rains.
With the past and current weather conditions in play, the projected peak of the fall foliage season is only a matter of time away, with some areas already beginning to see the full fall colors.
Peak fall color will likely be somewhere around October 20th, October 23rd in State College. And then once you're looking further up to the New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, first color normally appears in the first few days of October.
If you want a better way to plan your fall foliage trips, ExploreFall.com has an innovative feature where you can choose between different locations and weather projections to plan out the best of the fall colors. But keep in mind, these are approximates, and much like weather forecasts, the dates of peak fall foliage can change.
So I always encourage people to not expect perfection. There's a reason we put estimate on all of these maps because just like we can't predict the weather more than really 10 days in advance, we're also limited to 10 days or so of really high accuracy for fall foliage predictions. Beyond 10 days, it's more of just a climatological normal progression of fall color.
If you're looking for some great suggestions to view fall colors, head to the Laurel Highlands where you can visit Laurel Hill State Park or even Ohio Pile. Up across the North Country, the PA Grand Canyon is a spectacular view of hills with a river valley. Farther east, Ricketts Glen in World's End State Park provides great insight on vibrant colors. With weather conditions varying day to day during the autumn months, if you are planning to view the leaves, it is recommended to stay tuned to local weather forecasts. Changes in the weather may push the peak of the fall foliage back in either direction, and adding flexibility to your schedules will ensure you don't miss out on those peak colors. For Weather World, I'm student meteorologist Denys Khrulov.